Hi everyone. So this is the start of the second video of this week's lesson. So what we're looking at now is a document. This document is the long version rubric. Okay, there's a shorter version and a simpler version. This is the more complicated one. It kind of breaks down exactly what you need to do to succeed in your speech. Now what we're going to do is something a little bit different. We're going to have a look at parts of Lisa Suzuki's speech and see how well she does based on this rubric. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a second and bring up Lisa Suzuki's video, and we'll go kind of section by section, moment by moment. Okay, just hang on and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the video. Here she is. Let's just get it started. So there's a guy that sort of introduces Lisa Suzuki here. We'll listen to him and then we'll pause. Once again, see what he has to say. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be giving a speech about your hometown, about an area near your home, the province that you live in. If you live in a really boring area, you could maybe even do your speech about a city that you enjoy living in. But before we even start, before you even start preparing your speech, I want you to, and I'll tell you, you're going to fill out an outline, and I need to see a very specific area, because many of you are from Daegu, and I don't want everybody to do a speech about Daegu, okay? It'll get boring after a while. We can't have that. So each of your selections should be different. As a matter of fact, if you live in Daegu, or Ulsan, or Pohang, chances are several of you live there. I want you to think about doing a presentation about a city or even a country that's important to you, okay, rather than just doing Daegu over and over again. We'll all fall asleep if that happens. So let's see what's wrong here. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, here's the introduction.
We give the audience a gift of information. We might give information about ourselves, about a product, about a technology, or we might give information about a city.
Okay, so this is known as an informative speech. The speech that you're going to be giving in a couple of weeks is known as an informative speech. And this is exactly what this Lisa Suzuki does. Okay, so let's bring up the rubric. Alright, so in your introduction, you're going to welcome the audience, you're going to introduce yourself, you're going to tell the audience what your topic is, and you'll also have an opening image. Okay, let's see if she accomplishes all of this. Okay, here she goes.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Suzuki. Today, I'd like to introduce my hometown, Portland, Oregon.
Okay, so did she do all she was supposed to do? Did she do the things that you're supposed to do? Actually, she did. So notice how she has an introductory picture on her slide. So that's exactly what you need to do, too. You need to have an opening image for everyone to see. And just do everything that you see right here in your introduction. What she also does, though, is she kind of gives a reason for the audience there to be listening to this presentation that she's giving. And you won't need to do that, okay? You can just move straight to the main part. Now, let's once again look at this. Notice at the top, it says this presentation is worth a total of 15 points towards your final grade. Okay, so it's 15 points. Now, throughout your speech, you're going to need to use good grammar. All right, so if you're screwing up if you're doing poorly with your grammar, you're going to lose maybe a point or so. So try to make sure that your grammar is excellent, and you can just follow certainly in the introduction, the example introduction that I have, and also your ideas should flow together as smoothly as possible as well. So we'll also look at how to accomplish that. You're going to see, or you're going to hear, that she says next. When she says next, that is when she moves on to a new subtopic. She's going to talk about something that's a little bit different from what she was talking about before. Okay, let's once again listen to this. Here we go.
This information will help you decide if you want to visit Portland during your spring vacation. I've divided the information into 4 parts.
Now, what she's going to do is she's going to basically say, I've divided my presentation, my speech, into 4 parts. You don't need to say that either, okay? You can jump right into, talking about the various topics or points that you have to make about your hometown or the city or the country that you're doing your speech about. Okay, so let's keep listening here.
I've divided the information into 4 parts. First, what's there to see? Second, what's there to do? Third, what's there to eat? And fourth, getting around the Portland area.
Okay, let's go back to the document, to the rubric. The main part of the presentation should be at least 1 minute and 30 seconds and last no more than 2 minutes. Okay, so, if it's really short, if it's under a minute or so, that's way too short. It needs to be a minute and 30 seconds, 2 minutes, maybe even 3 minutes, but it can't be much longer than that. I say 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes. That's a guideline, okay? But don't go much over 2 minutes. Don't be under 1 minute. So this is known as the body of your speech. And I've written here that, or typed here, that you will go on to talk about your hometown, favorite city, or favorite country. So I think that's a good idea because we don't want everyone talking about Daegu. And during this main part, after you've done your introduction, during the main part, you need to use at least 3 images for each point that you make. Maybe you're talking about things to do. That's 1 point. That's at least 1 image. Things to see. That's another point. That then you'll be using another image. She uses a lot of images, actually. Now, you're going to want to use a laptop or a tablet computer to show your images. So it looks like we're going to be doing this thing live. I need to set that whole thing up. But if we do it live, and I think it's going to be Skype, I'm pretty sure about that. If it's live, then you simply will be sitting next to your computer, and everybody needs to be able to see what's on your screen as you do your presentation. Okay, and everybody will be listening to you and looking at your images. I've typed, this presentation will be live. You can do it sitting down or standing up. Okay, so that's the main part. So at least 3 images there, minute and a half. Okay, and then your conclusion. After you've done the main part and it's time to come to a close, your conclusion should take about 10 seconds or so. And I have an example of a conclusion that you can borrow. You're going to tell the audience that you've come to the end of your talk, thank them for listening, ask them if they have any questions, and make a recommendation. Now, you're going to make a recommendation, and I'll give you an example of that too. And also, this Lisa Suzuki makes a recommendation as well. All right, here's more details, how you get a perfect score. So in the introduction, the total is 3 points. In the main part, the total is 9 points. And in the conclusion, a total of 3 points. So it's a total of 15 points altogether. So you will lose no points on your introduction if your introduction is without grammatical errors and complete. Okay, no grammar errors, and it must include certain things like you will lose a point at least if you choose to read your introduction. You'll lose a point if there are errors. You'll lose a point if you do not start your speech with an opening image on your screen. Okay, so those are 3 things that you need to remember to do. In the main part, you will lose 1 point if your main part is less than 1 minute and 30 seconds. I will have to make a judgment decision there. You must remember to look up at the screen when a new image appears, or look at your screen. Not looking up, and you will lose 1 point. Be sure to show at least 3 images in the main part. You'll lose 1 point if you do not. And finally, in the conclusion, you will lose no points on your conclusion if your conclusion is without grammatical errors and complete. Your conclusion must also be memorized. Once again, the introduction and the conclusion must be memorized. So you will be looking at the audience or into the screen, into the screen, not your screen, but into the main computer screen. So basically, you will have 2 pieces of equipment. You'll probably be using your smartphone to record the live presentation. And then you'll have your laptop. That will be the screen for everyone to see. I hope that makes sense. You will lose 1 point if you choose to read your conclusion, so it has to be memorized. And it's very short. The conclusion is short. 1 point if there are errors in your conclusion. You make mistakes, grammatical errors, or you just leave a whole lot out. And 1 point if there is not any closing or final image on your screen. So you need to include an image to finish your speech. You get an extra credit of 1 point if you remember to recommend visiting the place you presented. So let's move on to the next part. Well, actually, what we'll do, let's just keep going, and then we'll go back to Lisa Suzuki's presentation in the 3rd video. Okay, so here's a sample welcome introduction right here. There are 2 examples here. See? So first of all, you'll be showing your slide or your first image. Your first image will be on your screen before you even speak. Then you'll say, if it's morning, good morning. If it's afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Professor Gimby. My name is Jisoo, whatever your name is. Thank you for coming to listen to my presentation. I am here to talk about my hometown. I am here to talk about my hometown, whatever your hometown is, as long as it's not Daegu, Pohang, or Ulsan, because I don't want 5 Ulsan presentations. I'm here to talk about my favorite country, Italy, my favorite city, Paris, my hometown, let's see, Uljin, okay, that would be fine. Another option would be good morning or good afternoon, everyone. This is the second option here. It's a little bit different. My name is, say your name. I want to thank all of you for taking time out to listen to my presentation about whatever you've chosen to talk about. Okay, so when we come back to the next or the last video, there may be another one, we'll talk about the main part, the sample conclusion. We'll go back to Lisa Suzuki and see how well she does with our rubric.